Hello and welcome to your first HTML and CSS coding from scratch project for absolute beginners. First, I want to thank you for taking the time to sign up for this class, and I know you're going to enjoy it. I also want to stress that this is a crash course designed for beginners, no experience required, and I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions through each part of the coding for this particular web page project. And I'm going to explain everything along the way. That being said, we're not going to learn everything there is to know about HTML and CSS. It's going to be impossible to cover everything in an hour, but instead we will focus on the basics to help you get started on learning how to use HTML and CSS to code web pages. So here is what we're going to learn with this coding from scratch project. First, here's the design I came up with in Photoshop and how it's going to look in our browser. You're going to learn the exact HTML and CSS code required to create this web page in your browser. This will include learning how to add SEO-friendly titles, paragraphs, how to float and wrap text around an image, how to lay out a 2-column grid, and how to make photos a clickable link. Throughout this class, I'm going to provide some supporting material to help you visually see and learn more about HTML and CSS. Again, I just want to stress that you're going to learn the basics of HTML and CSS, and please understand it's not possible to master either one in an hour or less. I know some instructors like to promise the world with very little effort. However, you must think of this as a life journey and not something that you can master in 5 minutes. If it was that easy, then everybody would be doing it. That being said, learning HTML and CSS is not as hard as most people think. HTML and CSS are actually the easiest types of coding to learn. However, it still takes time to learn and apply what you learn. Personally, I've been working with HTML and coding websites for 15 plus years. And with new technology, I continue to learn new things to help me with my current projects. So think of this as the foundation to your future, and you will need to continually learn about HTML and CSS beyond this crash course. So there's a couple of things we need in order to get the most out of this course. And that is, I recommend going through each one of the tutorials that follow in the exact order given because they each build on the previous lesson. After this particular video, there will be an article that follows it with a link for downloading some resources for this particular crash course. And this is going to include the final code for this particular coding project, and I'm offering it to you to use them as a reference to compare it to the code that you write. In the event that your web page does not look like mine, you can go through my code to try and find what you're missing with your code. It's also going to include a photo that you can use with this web design project. And then after you download those links, there's another article that follows that one that I highly recommend you read before you begin working on this coding project. So that's it for now. Go ahead and check out the next 2 articles and download those resources, and I'll see you in the next video.